He was the guy that the cinematic Iron Man was based on, and he is an innovative mind from South Africa who came to America to spread his technological footprint amongst society. So, how did he start it? How did he get going? At the age of 12, he had photographic memory, which he later discovered, and coded a game called Blastar, which he sold for $500. This got his entrepreneurial wagon spinning, and so he's like, where should I go? He wanted to avoid the army in South Africa because it's mandatory for men there to um, agree to admit into it. And so he moved forward to Canada. At the age of 17, he went to preparatory school for boys and eventually went to Queen's College while taking odd jobs around Canada so that he can go for 2 years. As soon as he was done with that, he came over to the United States to go to the University of Pennsylvania, which he later obtained a Bachelor of Science in Physics. And then he moved to California to go to Stanford, which is an amazing school, for his PhD in applied physics. But he took a pause. And why is that? Because he had an idea, a light bulb go off in his head, and he thought, I really need to do something with myself. I really need to go out and do something. It's the booming, it's the early 90s is when this was, so you have a good time idea. He dropped out of Stanford and he later made a call and goes, hey, just wondering, if I wanted to come back, because I know this is a scholarship, could I come back? I really just want to see if I can, do set up a whole computer software company thing. And by computer software company thing, I mean Zip2, which is the first of the only computer software, well, computer websites to have listings of businesses ever. So no more yellow pages and no more white pages. That was just something he created so that everybody could have easy access to the businesses in that area. Then it slowly started to expand itself, and then he later sold that for millions of dollars. After that was created, but first he sold it to Compaq for $307 million. So that's how much he made off of that, and I just wanted to express to you it was a very ingenious idea. His next thing was X.com. He saw that eBay was starting to go up, and before eBay was a thing, he saw that online payments were easier because checks used to take forever in the mail. And he's like, what am I supposed to do? What are people supposed to do? This isn't convenient. This is becoming the 2000s. Like, what are we supposed to do? He created X.com to expedite payments over the internet, but there were also other competitive websites that had contributed to this idea, and so he found one that was his highest competitor, and they grouped together to form PayPal, which is used by everyone and everywhere. It's the most used form of online payments. But eBay was their highest competitor and they didn't really conform to it. But then eventually they sold, since he co owned PayPal, to eBay because eBay just dropped its guns and was like, hey, what can we do? It's the most well known, like, money form of payment on the internet. So what are we going to do? We're going to take it. So they took it and they made about $1.5 billion off of eBay. But he gained at least $165 million, not as much as his first uh, endeavor, which is the Zip 2, which is $307 million, but he received no, just kidding, $22 million is what he received. So 165 was a big thing for him. Moving forward to his present creations, he is now infamous, well, kind of infamous because some people hate him, some people love him, for Tesla Motors and SpaceX. Now, people are more familiar with Tesla Motors due to the fact how it's in everybody's faces now, and it's one of the highest, well, not one of the, well, yeah, one of the highest electronic cars. At $80,000, originally it was $120,000 for the Roadster, which was a sports version of the electronic car, which makes electronic cars more efficient because the engine is actually in the back of the vehicle and the air funnels through the bottom so it doesn't have any resistance catching on to anything, so it even flows even smoother. Whenever it goes up a hill, it may waste energy, but when it goes down, it recreates kinetic energy, causing potential energy to become stored. So, since that's a thing, and he created a lot of fuel places that are free for cars like that to re-energize, so you have the ability to do 200 miles out, and throughout the country you can take these free, well, let's call them energy stations. That is now a Tesla promotion, and it's something that they're keeping forever. Along with that, he basically got loans from the United States, $400,000 plus, and Mitt Romney was trying to put it in Obama's face that they gave him that much money, but it turns out that when Tesla was supposed to be a bust, it came back up and devoured like Mitt Romney's face in the sense of they made $400,000 plus like 20 million on top of that was paid back to America. So basically, they form of interest was paid back. And SpaceX is the one that's a little bit on the lesser side of not being known. But if I were to say he's the guy who wants to go to the Mars, people are gonna be like, ding, ding, ding. That's exactly what it is. SpaceX is the endeavor is the company he founded June 2002, co-founded correctly, and Tesla was founded in 2006. June 2002, he wanted to create more efficient space space adventures, space endeavors, so that he can find other things that were worth utilizing in space. And so he figured out that Mars, since there's water that's substantial for life, he wanted to see if it was like a bigger possibility of us to live there. So he's trying to do the whole contest thing, which was a big like rumor, but he's trying to put his robots out there and droids and rovers, whatever you want to call them, and test out the area first and then see if he could send something over there that could possibly live there. And he's trying to figure out the best way to utilize things and to hopefully not cause any deaths in the process, because it is a big step for mankind to live on Mars. And for SpaceX to become that big was a big success for him, and same with Tesla Motors. He went from distributing the highest type of electronic car at $120,000 to distributing more moderately $80,000 cars, which he gained revenue on, and now he's trying to stop at 35,000 so that all of us teenagers involved are included can purchase these cars, and so his company can move along just smoothly. Everybody thought he was gonna, drop and burn, but he didn't. He succeeded through, and he's invested in himself to make millions off of his own, because he's the one who makes the most profit off of his own investments, because he's the biggest shareholder. Who's the best person to be the shareholder if you believe in yourself? And that's what he's taught millions of people by pushing himself forward. So in the end, he is an innovative mind, and he's ingenious for what he does. And his photographic memory gives him intelligence that I've not seen of this like substance within my years. He makes everything seem simple, and he's an entrepreneur at most, but at best, he's a family man. He has 5 kids, and he enjoys his life. And I'm proud of him, and I'm thankful to have gained knowledge upon him, because it makes me feel that I can succeed in a lot more than I think that I can. Because if you believe in yourself, I mean, look at him. He made millions off of his first company because he believed in himself. So it just gives you a little food for thought.